Hey there. So, if you've got a Garmin watch, you already know it's an incredible piece of tech. But with all that power comes this absolute flood of data, right? Today, we're going to cut through all that noise and show you exactly what you need to focus on to actually improve your running.
You ever finish a run, you look down at your wrist, and you just feel completely lost? You've got VO2 max, training status, race predictors, all these numbers staring back at you. It feels like you need a science degree just to figure out if you had a good run. If that sounds like you, hey, you're in the right place. We're about to make this a whole lot simpler. Okay, but here's the good news. And honestly, this is the main point of this whole explainer. You can safely, and I mean safely, ignore almost all of that stuff. To really, truly get a handle on your training and see improvement, you only need to focus on just three simple things. That's it.
Oh, right. So let's dive in. We're calling these the Core 3. And no, these aren't some complicated secret algorithms. They're the simple, powerful basics that actually give you control over how well you're training.
Just three. That's the magic number here. When you narrow your focus down to just these, everything becomes clearer, and it's so much easier to be consistent. So what are they? What are these three key metrics?
And here they are. It's distance, heart rate, and pace. That's the whole list. Think of these as the three pillars, the absolute foundation for training that actually makes sense and is easy to follow. So let's break down why each one of these is so darn important. Okay, first up, let's talk about distance. I want you to think of this one as the most basic, most honest, most trustworthy number your watch is ever going to give you. It's the bedrock, the absolute foundation of your training.
So you might be wondering, how is Garmin so good at this? Well, it's because it uses multiple satellite systems at once. This makes its GPS tracking incredibly precise. We're talking an error margin that's often less than 10 meters. That kind of reliability is exactly why distance is our number one.
And this is one of Garmin's biggest advantages right here. You can be running in a dense forest or right between a bunch of skyscrapers in the city, and in both of those situations where other devices might just totally drop the signal, Garmin's GPS usually stays rock solid. And that consistency, that's what lets you actually trust the numbers you see. All right, on to our second metric, heart rate. So if distance tells you how far you ran, heart rate tells you how hard your body was actually working to cover that distance. It's like a direct window into your body's effort level in real time. And this is so important. Your pace can lie to you, but your heart rate, it almost always tells the truth. You know how running an 8-minute mile can feel like a breeze one day, and then the very next day it feels like a total slog? Your heart rate shows you that difference. It's what helps you decide, okay, I can push harder today, or just as important, whoa, I need to back off a little. And the great thing is, Garmin makes this super easy with its heart rate zones. You don't have to do any complex math. You just glance at your watch and it'll tell you if you're in zone 2, perfect for an easy run, or if you're pushing it up in zone 4 during a tough workout. It's basically your effort level simplified. But the real magic here happens over time. As you keep training with these zones, you start to build this internal feeling for your effort. After a while, you'll just know what zone 2 feels like compared to zone 4 without even needing to look at your watch. And that is what helps you become a much smarter, more intuitive runner. And that brings us to our third and final core metric, pace. Now this one is all about your speed and your strategy. So whether you're trying to hit a new PR or just trying to manage your energy on a long, slow run, pace is what's going to guide you. To put it simply, pace is just the raw data of how fast you're running. And look, if you have any kind of performance goal, I don't care if it's finishing your first 5K or trying to qualify for Boston, you absolutely have to understand and control your pace. It's non-negotiable. And you can see how it works right here. Your pace is directly tied to what you're trying to accomplish that day. If it's an easy recovery day, you're aiming for a slow jog pace. Training for a marathon, you're locking into that specific target pace. And if you're doing speed work, it's all about hitting those fast interval paces. Pace is the tool that lets you execute the day's plan perfectly. Okay, so what about all that other stuff? The VO2 max, the sleep score, your stress level. The key here, the really big idea, is to treat all of that as interesting information. It's a reference, not a rule book that tells you what to do every single day. Yeah, let's put these in perspective. Your VO2 max, it's best to look at that as a long-term trend of your fitness, not some score you have to worry about every day. And it's just an estimate based on your heart rate and pace, which is why it can get kind of thrown off if you do a lot of treadmill running. And those race predictions, Huh, they're fun, sure, but take them with a giant grain of salt. Your sleep and stress scores, though, those are actually great hints about your overall lifestyle and how well you're recovering. I want you to think about it like this. Getting one bad sleep score doesn't mean you automatically have to cancel your run. But if you see a pattern of bad sleep scores all week and you're also feeling kind of sluggish, well, that's a really valuable clue that maybe you need to focus more on recovery. It's about spotting the trends, not freaking out over one single number. Okay, let's start to wrap this up with the big takeaway here. Look, your goal isn't to become a data scientist, right? It's to become a smarter, more consistent runner. And the absolute clearest way to do that is to keep things simple. So let's just recap the most important points. Number 1, you officially have permission to ignore most of the data your Garmin is screaming at you. Number 2, focus everything on the core 3, distance, heart rate, and pace. And number 3, just treat everything else as an interesting reference point now and then. And why does this work so well? Because when things are simple, it's way easier to be consistent. And consistency, well, that's the real secret to getting results. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about on your next run. Of these 3 core metrics, which one tells you the most? Which one gives you the most valuable feedback? Is it the pure honesty of your heart rate, the rock-solid reliability of distance, or the strategy that comes with pace? Figuring that out for yourself, that's the final piece of the puzzle to really taking control of your training. Thanks for tuning in.